This is a LEGO Santa minifigure, something I'm sure we're all very familiar with by now. But LEGO Santa hasn't always looked like this. In fact, he's had quite the journey to get to where he is now. To find out how we got here, we must look back to the 1970s, which is where it all began. The first sets to contain Santa in LEGO form were released in 1977, with set number 245, Two Santas, and set number 246, Santa and Sleigh. These two sets were incredibly simple, building Santa and accessories out of basic LEGO bricks available at the time, each with printed yellow pieces to give him a face. He returned in 1986 with set 1555, simply named Santa Claus, and from then on many new buildable Santa sets would come and go throughout the years, including but not limited to Santa with reindeer and sleigh, Santa and chimney, Santa on skis, Christmas, Cool Santa set, and even showing up in 2004's Creator Advent Calendar. In modern times, buildable Santas still remain a staple of LEGO's Christmassy themed sets, with creators still providing fun new designs to build jolly old St. Nick. He even got a Brickhead set in 2018. Santa's introduction to the world of minifigures, however, came much later, when he was first released in 1995 in set 1807, a polybag appropriately named Santa Claus and Sleigh. This Santa was an incredibly basic minifigure, using grey legs, a plain red torso, white wizard beard covering up a basic LEGO smile, and a simple red pirate bandana. While there were some variations in legs and faces used in different sets, for the next 17 years this was the standard for LEGO Santa minifigures, appearing in a range of sets from polybags like Santa's truck, an assortment of different pens to write with, Christmas decorations including snow globes and magnet sets, and most obviously city advent calendars, where he exclusively shows up behind door number 24, except in 2010, where he was also present a few days earlier in the shower. Yeah, that's certainly a LEGO Santa minifigure that won't be forgotten about. A year later, LEGO Star Wars introduced its own advent calendar for the first time, allowing Star Wars fans to get minifigures and mini-builds from their favourite movies each day throughout December, before finally being gifted with a brilliant Santa Yoda minifigure. Unlike the regular Santa minifigures, Yoda actually got printing on his torso, giving the Jedi Grand Master a Santa outfit complete with a candy cane held in his belt. By 2012, LEGO was clearly moving beyond the need for such a basic Santa minifigure. And so, with the 8th series of collectible minifigures, he finally got his long overdue update, providing him with an instantly recognisable torso design, a brand new Santa hat piece, and a change to his beard design since the new hat is incompatible with the original, whilst also equipping him with a new sack piece. 2012 also continued what began a year prior with Santa Yoda, as LEGO Star Wars fans across the world were gifted with the awesome Santa Darth Maul minifigure as they opened up the final door of their Star Wars advent calendars. Decked out with red Sith robes, a wintry hood and cape, Maul was a perfect follow-up to Master Yoda. And succeeding Maul was Santa Jango Fett in 2013, followed by Lord Vader himself in 2014, and 3PO the year after. However, this trend of Santa Star Wars characters was eventually replaced with holiday jumpers instead, although we did get a Santa variant of a Porg and even a Gonk droid later on too. Clearly, 2012 created a new normal for Santa. The City Advent Calendar for that year was the last to contain the simpler Santa we had come to know, with 2013 instead reprising the new and updated Santa minifigure from Series 8. Following years would go on to use this minifigure in many sets, sometimes with different faces, including 2014's Winter Village Santa's Workshop, which gave Santa everything he needed to get presents made and delivered in time for Christmas. It also saw the introduction of the first ever Mrs. Claus minifigure too, finally uniting Santa with his wife. The torso design introduced for Santa was eventually retired in 2016 before making one final appearance 4 years later in a Christmas-themed LEGO Store exclusive Builder minifigure blister pack, probably to get rid of extra stock. See, a mere 5 years after his first major update, Santa received yet another design change. You can tell straight away by comparing them. The torso is quite different and even has backprinting for the first time, sneaking a candy cane into his belt just like with Yoda. Also in 2017, Santa made his way to the world of Duplo with Santa's Winter Holiday, giving young builders their first ever Santa Duplo figure. He would later return in 2022 with Santa's Gingerbread House, the same year he made his mini doll debut as well, with last year's Friends Advent Calendar. Back to the world of regular minifigures, and the 2017 design was subtly changed once again in 2021, widening the belt buckle and removing the candy cane from his back. So far this torso has only been used on 3 minifigures, including Santa Garmadon from Ninjago. And so 28 years after the original Santa minifigure made his debut, this is what the latest Santa looks like. First released in Santa's Visit and then returning in this year's advent calendar, Santa is as iconic as ever, now with black boots thanks to the dual molded legs. Can we finally say that this is the definitive LEGO Santa and the new normal? Who knows? We've already got a dark red version of this suit thanks to LEGO's Build a Minifigure section. It is safe to say, however, that no matter what face he has and no matter which torso he uses, there's no denying that Saint Nick has made his mark to become one of LEGO's greatest minifigure designs ever made. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing by clicking on screen now, and leave a comment below telling me what your favourite Santa minifigure or Santa build in general is. Thanks for watching.